no sabes lo que pasa. El primer verso, papi. Yeah. Lo que manda aquí la clave.
Well, today is a bit of a sad day for me. After 2 weeks in beautiful Puerto Rico, I am leaving in the morning. And since I'm alone, Halef left yesterday. We booked on separate tickets. What I thought I'd do today is take you to a neighborhood that a lot of people don't get to see here in San Juan. It's a neighborhood called La Perla, and if you can see it behind me, it is a neighborhood that's built right down on the northern waterfront in San Juan, just outside the old city walls. So we're gonna go down and take a look at La Perla today. Here we go. There are actually 3 entrances to get into La Perla. One is on the far east side of the community. There's actually one that comes right from the north. If you're walking along the main road, there's an exit, you can go downstairs. And then there's this one, which is right next to the cemetery. This is the one I'm going to go into today. This also might be a good time to note some of the things that you might have read about La Perla. While researching this and getting it from a couple people, I was told that probably should stay away from La Perla because it has a high crime rate. When I was in the store the other day, I was struck up a conversation with the cashier, and I told her about my plans to come down here, and she said, no, you shouldn't go down there. It's very high crime, especially with camera equipment and things like that. And then there was some guy at the bus stop who just randomly picked us to come and tell us about La Perla. He said that he got his wrist broken down here, but I think he was a little inebriated, so I'm not really sure how to take that. So when people tell me not to do something, I generally want to do it even more, especially when they tell me things based on their perceptions of the people that live in the community, because I sometimes think that those are very outdated or based on, for example, some outdated notion of what the people may have been like before or what a community was like back in the day. We were actually down here a couple of days ago, Halef and I. We found the people down here to be super friendly, a really nice light atmosphere, and a very interesting community. So people's misconceptions about a place aren't going to stop me from visiting. So let's take the entrance into La Perla. So, a little bit about La Perla. La Perla is a neighborhood that was established in the 19th century, and I just read a bit about this. There was a local slaughterhouse, and there were some non-white farmers and servants that the law said all of those had to live outside the wall. So the slaughterhouse had to be outside the city wall, and non-white people basically had to be outside of the city wall. And since then, it's sort of a shanty town, I guess. What I've read is that there are about 900 homes and a little over 3,000 people down here. And as you can see behind me, it's a very colorful neighborhood. Nothing to fear here at all. Maybe not during the night, but I think coming down here during the day is totally fine. Now that I'm here, I sort of wish we started recording this a few days ago. During the San Sebastian Festival, it was actually really lively down here. Down here there were a lot of people eating and drinking at this restaurant behind the van, and it was a lot more lively. Things were happening and people were having a lot of fun. And there were even actually a few tourists down here as well, people getting their pictures next to the La Perla sign. The great part about today is that it's actually really relaxing. When we were here before, the water was quite rough, so the spray was coming up and actually getting a bit on the camera, and the last thing you want on the camera is salt water. Along this beach here, you quite often will see some chickens out there. I don't know what they're doing. They're pecking and hunting around for some sort of food. Saw a few crabs down here, which I didn't get on film. Hopefully I'll get some today. But then we can walk along the boardwalk here, and we can go up through the neighborhood and see some of the sort of community center type things that they do have here. La Perla is actually a very good neighborhood to come and do some ship watching too. We've seen a couple ships go by here. There's one way out on the horizon, and there's a Dole ship that just brought some food into San Juan Harbor. Dole is a huge company, and you probably all know it. And you see ships coming in here all the time because I think about 90% of the food that's brought into Puerto Rico needs to be imported from outside. There's 3.5 million people here, and that's a lot of people to feed. This guy behind me is doing some fishing. I see he's throwing out some bait, and when the fish come in, he'll throw out his net. This small, no bueno. I sort of have my path blocked behind me, and the large hen behind me is a little bit annoyed that I'm here, I think. So I'm going to take my time and walk through them, lest I get pecked to death. If you've seen the movie The Birds by Alfred Hitchcock, I know that was a different bird, but maybe this is the danger everyone was talking about here. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Hola. There must not have been a big delivery today because that boat just came in about 30 minutes ago and now it's leaving again unless there's two boats. But the one we saw the other day was here for several hours before it left. Maybe it was just refueling or something, who knows. I think that would take a lot longer than half hour though. Bye, Dole Boat. And that's just part of La Perla. We're gonna go upstairs now and take a look at some other parts. Some really cool art. This is a mosaic that must have took forever to do. It's actually quite beautiful. You can see art like this, maybe not mosaics, but some paintings all over the neighborhood. And we're right next to San Cristobal. In fact, if you look behind me here, you can see one of the, I guess, sentry houses. I don't know what they call these things, the little things that make it look like a castle on the top here. La Perla also has a pretty sweet basketball court, so if you move here, this is the place to play basketball. That, my friends, is the big, scary 900-yard neighborhood of La Perla that everyone tells you not to go into. I didn't think it was so scary. It's actually quite nice. And I love coming down and wandering along the water down there. I think a lot of what people say about neighborhoods like this are based on old stereotypes. Would I get down there at night? I'm not really sure, but not because the people are scary or anything, but because it's probably not well lit. Everybody has services down here, but I didn't see too many street lights, so it's probably not a great place to come anyway at night. But during the day, if you're here, definitely take a walk down through La Perla. Check out the cemetery on the western side. It's a big, beautiful cemetery that's open till 3 every day. And while you're here, of course, check out the fort. It's a beautiful place to hang out for the day. Nice and breezy down here. If you like this video, I'd love it if you'd give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe to our channel, we'd love it if you did that too. Just click that subscribe button. And if you want to get notifications every time we post something new, click the notification button and that'll do it. Thanks for watching. Visit La Perla. And that is the answer to how big is too big. At full capacity, there are 6,700 people on that ship.